So if you think about how learning objectives are created in our educational system, you can look at this Bloom's taxonomy. If you're an educator, I'm sure you're familiar with Bloom's taxonomy. So just a little history. Bloom's taxonomy was developed by Benjamin Bloom back in like 1950-ish, 55, 56 maybe. And it was like breakthrough, revolutionary stuff because there hadn't been any real good critical analysis that were put out since like Montessori, early 1900s, right? So if you just think about the pace in which our education system is developing, it's like snail mail. But anyway, Bloom's taxonomy was great because it introduced metacognition, it introduced scaffolding. Metacognition is just your thoughts, thinking about your thoughts, thinking about the way that you think. And then scaffolding is like building on top of existing information. And so you had this chart. I actually wrote a whole article about this and how, we should be looking at large language models to improve pedagogy. But if you think low level thinking and high level thinking, and this is right now standard 1956, this is still pretty much the standard in which curriculums are developed and organizational design is really built in some of this Bloom's taxonomy. But here at the bottom you have like remembering, and this is what many of us know as rote memorization, right? When we're just doing our multiplication tables over and over and over until you get it, right? And you do it until you understand it. And then once you can understand it, you can apply it. Once you apply it, you can analyze it. And once you can analyze, you evaluate. And then once you evaluate, you can create new information. And so the thought is that students progress up this pyramid. They go from remembering to creating new information. And my point here is that generative AI completely flips something like this on its head. That the information is already there in many cases, right? That now we should be taking the information and thinking about how can we analyze it? How can we analyze the information? Because right now I can prompt ChatGPT for really anything that a teacher could tell me. And that's not to diminish anything that a teacher is talking about. It just changes how a teacher interfaces with their students. Now students are already coming armed with information. They have Google, they have social media, they have ChatGPT, they have so many distribution channels for which they can receive information. And so they come to the classroom armed already with this information. And now the goal should be, well, how do we analyze and evaluate and then build on top of this information? How do we create new information from the information that exists? Right? Like how do we do that? It shouldn't be students writing an essay with ChatGPT, right? That would be cheating if you just put it into ChatGPT and it spits out an essay that you didn't have any part in co-creating. That is a waste of time and energy. But what happens when they already have the story of Animal Farm and now we need to be able to really delve deep into the characters of Animal Farm? We need to be able to create a multimodal learning experience for Animal Farm. And I'm just saying Animal Farm because that was the book that I read when I was in high school, grade school. And it's really about, if you guys haven't read it, it's great because it's talking about socio-political kind of things, and all these animals are on a farm, and the pigs are like speaking on behalf of the animals, and they all of a sudden turn into humans. But you can do a real critical analysis. What if you generated pictures of what this would look like in a more contemporary sense? What if you created a podcast on how to illustrate the learnings in this book? What if you had students create graphs, or what if you had tables to be able to go back and forth between character development? I mean, it's endless in terms of what you can do to enhance the learning experience, which is why I really talk about. I know it's not on the teachers. It's not on the teachers to be able to do this. They're already underpaid and learning more tools. I already know the stress of having to do that. But this is where I think something like generative AI can really help enhance the learning experience to take students from remembering to creating, right? And so I'm really just, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are thinking on this. If you've heard of this, you should ask ChatGPT, hey, can you tell me about Bloom's taxonomy and what its impact has had on the educational system and how we can enhance Bloom's taxonomy using generative AI? And so, man, if you guys like this kind of stuff, I do a lot of explorations on just technology and culture and society, really around generative AI and how we can improve worker equity in education, autodidactic learning. So if you guys like this stuff, give a follow, give a share, give a tag to encourage and stimulate conversation, because I think the most critical thing that is ahead of us right now is just awareness, right? And we're going to have to push people up Bloom's taxonomy around generative AI. And so Yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.